Sorry, sweetie. We just don't have the space this year, my mom said, smiling too brightly. Besides, it'll be awkward with everyone else here. Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Pierce. I'm 27, and that was the moment my own family uninvited me from Thanksgiving, like I was an unwanted plus one in a life I helped hold together. My brother Jason snickered from behind her. Yeah, Lauren, it's family only this time. I am family, I said softly. Not tonight, Mom replied, already turning away. They laughed, all of them. It was supposed to be lighthearted, a joke. But no one said just kidding. I stood there for a long second, heart pounding. My hands still smelled like the pumpkin pie I'd spent hours baking. I finally said, "All right then," and left quietly. The drive home was silent. Not sad, just cold. Because what they didn't know was that the only reason their big, beautiful house stayed warm through winter was me. Last year, when Dad lost his job, I'd secretly covered their heating costs, nearly $8,000 prepaid through the company I worked for. So as I sat in my apartment, watching the snow fall, I logged into the account, hovered over one button, and smiled. Cancel service. This year, they'd finally feel the chill they gave me. The next morning, my phone started buzzing before sunrise. First a missed call from Mom. Then another. Then a text from Jason. Lauren, did you cancel something? The house is freezing. The system won't turn on. I sipped my coffee, the steam warming my hands, and smiled to myself. They'd never called this early before, not for birthdays, not even after I moved out. A minute later, Mom called again. This time, I answered. Lauren, the heat's out. The whole house is like an icebox. It's below freezing, and your father's losing it. Did you pay the heating company last month? I let her panic wash over me for a beat before replying. You mean your heating company?
No, Mom.
I stopped making payments after you told me I wasn't part of the family anymore. There was a pause, a shocked, stuttering silence. Lauren, we didn't mean. You did, I said calmly. You meant every word. Jason grabbed the phone. Come on, Lauren. It's Thanksgiving weekend. This isn't funny. Neither was uninviting me, I said. But hey, at least now you're all together. Cozy, right? Lauren, Mom snapped. Fix this right now. I ended the call and turned my phone face down. For once, they could figure it out themselves, without the daughter they treated like background noise. And somehow, that silence felt warmer than any house I'd ever been in. By noon, my phone had 27 missed calls.
Mom.
Dad. Jason. Even Aunt Carol, the one who'd laughed the loudest when they told me I wasn't invited. Every voicemail sounded the same. Frantic, cold, desperate. Lauren, honey, please call us. The pipes are freezing. Your father's trying to light the fireplace. It's not enough. I didn't answer. I just kept cleaning my apartment, humming along to Christmas music, enjoying the warmth I paid for myself. Then, around 3, another text came in from Mom. Lauren, please. We're sorry. Come over. We'll make space. That one made me stop. Not because I wanted the invitation, but because it wasn't an apology. It was desperation dressed as kindness. I typed back slowly. I appreciate the offer, but I already made plans. She replied instantly. Plans? With who? Myself. I wrote. And central heating. 5 minutes later, my brother called again, this time on FaceTime. I picked up just long enough to see them all huddled in blankets, visible breath fogging the air. Jason's voice cracked. You made your point, okay? I tilted my head.
No, Jason.
I made your house my point. And with that, I hung up, took another sip of cocoa, and let the irony settle. They wanted me out of their lives, and now, even warmth refused to stay with them. That night, as snow coated the neighborhood, another call came through, this time from Dad. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. Lauren, he said immediately, breathless. Listen, your mother's, she's upset. We shouldn't have. Uninvited me? I offered. Laughed when you did? He sighed heavily. It was a joke gone too far. You're still family. Now, can you just fix the heat? There it was, the real reason for the call. Not regret. Not love. Just convenience. You know, Dad, I said softly, for people who didn't want me at dinner, you sure need me a lot when things break. This isn't the time for attitude, he barked. We're freezing in here. I smiled faintly. Maybe that's what it takes to feel what I've felt for years. He went silent. I could hear Mom whispering in the background. Is she doing it? Then he lowered his voice. We'll talk about this later. Just call the company. I leaned back in my chair. Oh, I already did. You did? Yes, I said. To transfer the service to your name, you'll have to pay the balance up front before they reconnect it. His voice cracked. Lauren. I ended the call before he could finish. They always said I was too emotional, too sensitive. Turns out I was just too forgiving until now. The next morning, the calls stopped. No texts. No voicemails. Just silence. It was almost unsettling. Almost. I figured they'd either swallowed their pride or found someone else to blame. Probably both. Then, around 10 a.m., a knock came at my door. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened it, there stood my brother, Jason, bundled up in 3 coats, his nose red, hands shaking from the cold. He tried to smile. Hey. Hey, I replied evenly. How's the house? He sighed, shoulders slumping. Frozen. Pipes burst last night. Mom's losing it. Dad's furious. I'm shocked, I said dryly. Truly. He looked at me then really looked. You're enjoying this, aren't you? I hesitated.
No, Jason.
I'm not enjoying it. I'm remembering it. He frowned. Remembering what? All the years I fixed things, paid bills, covered your mistakes, and got called dramatic for asking for respect.
He was quiet for a long time.
Mom wants you to come home. I smiled faintly. Home stopped being home when it stopped being kind.
He winced.
So, you're not coming? I shook my head. Not until I'm invited because they want me there, not because they need me there. Jason nodded slowly, ashamed. You really changed. No, I said softly, closing the door. I just finally thawed out. Days passed. The cold didn't let up, outside or inside their house. Word spread quickly in our small town. The Pierce's furnace failure had become neighborhood gossip. My mom, who loved hosting, now avoided everyone's eyes at the store. My dad, once the loudest man at any gathering, hadn't been seen since the heating company's truck pulled away after refusing service without payment. I didn't feel guilty. I felt balanced. Until Aunt Carol showed up at my apartment. She stood there holding a grocery bag, cheeks flushed from the wind. They're struggling, Lauren. Your mother's sleeping in the living room with a space heater. She has a heater, I said. She just doesn't have heat. Aunt Carol sighed. You made your point. Isn't that enough? Would it have been enough? I asked quietly. If it were me shivering alone after they threw me out of Thanksgiving? She opened her mouth to answer, then closed it. No one ever did when I asked that question. That night, I sat by my window, watching the snow fall again. The same view I'd had the night I canceled the payment. And somewhere between pity and peace, I realized. Maybe it was enough. Not because they'd learned, but because I finally had. For once, I wasn't waiting for them to thaw. I'd learned how to stay warm without their approval. And that, I thought, was real freedom. A week later, I got a call I never expected from my dad's office line. He rarely called me from there. His voice, when I picked up, was different.
Quiet.
Almost humbled. Lauren, he began. I wanted to apologize. I waited. No interruptions. No forgiveness yet. Just silence to let him fill it. He continued. Your mother and I acted terribly. We treated you like an outsider when you've done more for this family than anyone else. I didn't realize how much we depended on you until you stopped trying to hold us together. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the faint reflection of myself in the dark laptop screen. You realized it because it finally cost you something? I said calmly. He exhaled. Maybe, but I still needed to say it. Then say it to her too, I replied.
To Mom.
To Jason. Not because you want your heat back, but because you mean it. I will, he said quietly. And thank you for all you've done before this. We didn't deserve it. Something in me softened. Not forgiveness yet, but maybe the start of it. Before hanging up, he added, "Your mother wants to cook Christmas dinner. She asked if you'd come. No conditions. Just come." I didn't answer right away. I needed to feel the truth of that invitation, not just the words. Finally, I said, "If the table has room for respect, I'll be there."
He didn't argue.
It will. And for the first time in years, I almost believed him. Christmas Eve arrived crisp and quiet, the kind of night where snow softened the world into forgiveness, or at least the illusion of it. I stood outside my parents' house, gift bag in hand, heart steady. The lights glowed from every window, the warmth I'd once paid for now flickered by their own effort. When I stepped inside, the hum of awkward laughter stopped. My mother looked up from the kitchen doorway, her hands dusted with flour. For a split second, guilt flickered across her face. "Lauren, you came." I nodded. "You invited me." Dad rose from the couch, slower than usual. "You look good, kiddo." "Thanks," I replied softly. "You look warm." Jason chuckled nervously, breaking the tension. "Okay, truce before she freezes us again, yeah?" The room eased into quiet laughter, fragile but real. Dinner was different this time. Not perfect, not storybook, but equal. No mocking comments, no invisible hierarchy. My mom even passed me the first serving of mashed potatoes, a small gesture, but a loud one. After dessert, Dad stood. "I know words can't undo things, but I need to say this in front of everyone. Lauren, you were never the problem. You were the solution we took for granted. And that's on us." The room fell silent. Even my mother's eyes glistened. I didn't cry. I just smiled faintly and said, "Sometimes the only way to teach warmth is to let the cold in." They all knew what I meant. Later, as I walked to my car, the snow crunched under my boots, the same sound from that lonely Thanksgiving night. Only this time, it didn't echo. Because I wasn't walking away from family anymore. I was walking towards self-respect, and that felt like home.